Hi there, and thanks for joining us today. My name's Leslie, and I work with the Bookmobile Extension Services Department, and today is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect day to be talking about the Take and Make Seed Library, Just Add Water. This is a kit that is funded by NASA at my library, and St. Johns County Public Library System has been a partner since 2017, and our mission is to close that STEM gap. So we've been doing programs that give opportunities to everyone. We're really wanting to help get a more diverse workforce in the STEM fields. So today we are talking about some gardening and some vegetables, and I have an expert that is going to introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Shelby Dixon with the St. Johns County Seed Library, and I'm here to talk about the Take and Make that we'll be offering this fall. The St. Johns County Seed Library is a free seed library available to anyone. You do not have to be a library member, and you're able to come and select up to 6 seed packets per month of seeds that we've chosen that grow great in our area. We have food varieties, we have some herbs, and we also have flowers. You're then able to take those seeds home, plant them in your own garden, and if you have success, bring seeds back to us, but that's absolutely not a requirement.
Here's what your Take and Make Just Add Water kit is going to look like. And if you've not picked them up from the library already, your local library should have some kits available still. You're going to find 3 of these peat discs, 3 packets of seeds, and each packet only has 3 or 4 seeds in it. And then there's an instruction sheet with some recipes, and also lets you know about where you can find gardening and cookbooks, either online or at your local library. Here's 2 boys from one of our favorite library families, and they have their seed library Take and Make Just Add Water.
So this year for the Seed Take and Make, you're going to get these great little compressed peat discs. In order to use them, you're going to stick them in a bowl or a shallow plate with a lip, and you're actually going to cover them with water until they expand. This soil holds a lot of water, so after it's expanded, you're going to want to put 2 to 3 seeds in, tamp it down, and wait. You don't necessarily need to water every day, but you want to make sure it doesn't start to dry out. So if it does start to look dry, you can actually pour a little bit of water in the bottom of that bowl, and it'll fill from the bottom back up again. Once your seeds sprout and you start to get some true leaves, that's when they're going to need sunlight. So you'll need to move them into a sunny window or outside. Just make sure that they're protected from really heavy rainstorms and wind. This year, we will be offering a Desico broccoli, which is a really tender broccoli variety with a kind of a small head. Once you cut it, it sends out shoots off the sides that you can eat all season long, and you can also harvest the leaves to cook like a collard green. This one is delicious, eaten raw with some dips. You can roast it in the oven. You can saute the greens on the stove with some onion and garlic and a little bit of lemon juice or vinegar. We also have a red Russian kale, which is going to be a really tender variety of kale. On that one, it can almost be replaced for a spinach. It's that tender. You can put it in smoothies if you want to add something green to it. You can even eat it on a salad. And we'll have a really unique collard green called an Alabama blue collard. It's an heirloom variety with very, very tender leaves. They're a little bit smaller than usual, but because they're so tender, you don't have to cook them down and boil them for a long time like traditional collards. You can use them as a wrap. You can saute them again with some olive oil, onion, and garlic. You can even add them to soups for a little bit of flavor there. Once your seeds are planted, you are going to watch for 2 small leaves to come up on each one. Those are going to be fake leaves. So as you watch them grow, plants store energy in a unique way, and they send up those 2 false leaves so that they can get all of their own sunlight and nutrients, and then the true leaves will grow. We're providing a few seeds in each packet. So once you have a few of them pop up and then the true leaves are up, you're going to want to select the healthiest plant and snip all the other ones off. You really only want 1 growing seed per pod. Once they have a few true leaves and they start to get a decent amount in size, it's then time to plant them. And you can put them in a smaller pot that you have. It can be anything recycled. It could be a big paper cup with some holes punched in the bottom to let them grow, or you can plant them straight into an established garden or into a pot. It doesn't matter what your pot is, but we do recommend at least 5 gallons of soil for these plants because they're going to get pretty big and they'll grow for months and months and months once they're healthy. Once your plants are growing, they're going to need about 6 to 8 hours minimum of sunlight a day, and that needs to be direct sunlight, so not sunlight from a window. And they're going to need enough water to where they stay evenly moist but not wet. The easiest way to think about it is your soil consistency should feel like a wrung out sponge. That usually means that you have to water a few times a week, maybe a couple times more if it's in a pot. Once your plants have at least 4 to 5 big leaves, you can start harvesting. And on all of these, you can pull leaves straight from the bottom of the plant. You always want to make sure you're maintaining enough on top, like I said, around 4 to 5 so that it can keep growing. But you can keep pulling leaves off the bottom every single week and cook them as they go. For the broccoli, you want to make sure that you wait until you have a little bit extra leaves on there, and you can harvest the leaves until you're waiting for the crowns to come. Once your broccoli crown is big and just starting to open, you're going to want to cut that then. If not, it'll start to flower. You can still absolutely eat it once it flowers, but if you get it a little bit before then, that's great too.
Here's a couple of plants that I just did the seeds last week. These were some seeds that I had lying around, but I wanted to be able to show you all something growing. So I do have the beets, and then here's some arugula. And as Shelby said, I will need to find the strongest one and then just trim those others off.
So once your seeds are nice and big and you're ready to transplant them out into the garden or your pot, you really want to make sure that you transplant them properly. So after you've thinned them, you're going to have your 2 false leaves. You can tell they're the false leaves or the cotyledons because they're going to look different than all the other leaves on the plant. And you want to put those right at the soil level or a tiny bit under the soil level. The reason for that is because the plants will actually send roots out to the side and it'll give them a nice strong base. If they get planted up too high, once those false leaves die, they'll tilt to the side and they'll get kind of leggy and then they'll come back up again and you won't have a big strong base. It's especially important for these vegetables because you're going to be harvesting them over such a long period of time and they're going to get so big and heavy that you want to make sure they have a good structure in the ground.
Now, Shelby did talk about fake leaves, and that's the first time I ever heard of that, so that might help me get a green thumb. But I planted this basil probably about a month ago, and sure enough, I see these 2 little leaves on each of these stalks that are the fake leaves. So this is ready to be transplanted, and so when I add the soil, I will make sure to either put those fake leaves right at or just under the soil. Here's a better photo of that basil plant and those 2 little fake leaves.
We have lots of extra seeds at the seed library as well. So once you get your take and make home and you're having a great time and you're feeling successful, please come out and check out the other seeds that we have available. We also have a resource binder next to the seed library on the table that gives you information on how to plant, how to harvest, and how to save seeds if you're interested in learning more. We're really excited for this program, and we will be doing another one in spring of 2021, so please stay tuned for that.
Anytime I speak with Shelby, I am always inspired to do a better job of growing my own food. If you're interested in the seed library, please check out the interview we did with Shelby back in June. This is on our YouTube channel, SJC Library Vid. We have this interview as well as a lot of other great programming. We thank you so much for joining us today, and we want to know how your garden's going. So please share your photos and let us know.